so demeaning, and they don't want to change. I see it the other day. Guys like Schumer, our great Palestinian senator, this guy, no, he's changed. He used to like Jewish people. Now he's totally against Jewish people. It's the most incredible transformation I think I've ever seen. But who would allow this to happen? In other sports, the same thing. Try the weightlifting numbers someday. You want to see some big differences. In a million years, the women will never catch these numbers. It's not going to happen. And it's very demeaning to women. And I don't like it when it's demeaning to women. So we're turning the country around fast. We love you all. Thank you very much. And good luck. Thank you.
Donald Trump has a pudding brain. And it is only getting more obvious by the day that he is in cognitive decline, and obvious to not just us Democrats and those in the independent media who will actually cover this story, but to the people closest to Trump. And we saw that as he delivered a speech today at the White House, where the crowd behind him was visibly disturbed as Donald Trump blatantly lied and talked about cannibals and waitresses he finds to be attractive. It was completely nonsensical. We are going to get into it all and how freaked out the crowd was. And it starts with Donald Trump bringing back one of his favorite characters, of course, Hannibal Lecter.
A record number of deportations. We're bringing criminals out by the thousands. Nobody can even imagine. They let people in that were murderers. 11,888 murderers, gang members, people from mental institutions, and insane asylum. You know what that is? That's insane asylum. That's a mental institution on steroids. During the campaign, I talk about the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Do you know who that is? Hannibal Lecter. Silence of the Lambs. I'd talk about it, and the fake news would go crazy. Why does he keep mentioning? Well, because we won in a landslide. That's why they don't want to have Hannibal in our midst. And the day I signed this...
Oh man, Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter is back, because of course he is. Donald Trump needs a distraction from the fact that this bill is a complete catastrophe. We don't even know if it'll pass. Republicans in the Senate are scrambling. Those in the House are freaked out about the damage that it's going to do to their ability to win their races as Donald Trump strips health care away from tens of millions of people. But it's not just that. As we previously talked about today, Senator Murphy outlined the ripple effect of Donald Trump's attack on Medicaid, how there will be rural hospitals. Not just rural hospitals. Hospitals across the country closing because of these attacks on our healthcare infrastructure will crumble. Because of Donald Trump, but of course this is not the only problem. We have them at home. We have them abroad as well. And that's because of Donald Trump's idiotic trade war, which I guess he's just lying about now, which he's always been lying about. But this is a new one, right here.
Jameson, everybody wants to make a deal and have a part of it, right? I know you and Howard and Scott are working overtime, making deals with other countries. Remember a few months ago, the press was saying, do you really have anybody of any interest? Well, we just signed with China yesterday, right? Just signed with China. We have everybody. We're not going to make deals with everybody. Some we're just going to send them a letter, say, thank you very much. You're going to pay 25, 35, 45%. That's the easy way to do it. And my people don't want to do it that way. They want to do some of it, but they want to make more deals than I would do. But we're having some great deals. We have one coming up, maybe with India, very big one, where we're going to open up India.
Oh, we have a deal with China. Did someone announce the deal with China? What is the deal with China? I love these types of speeches with Trump were there. People like real close, right behind him, and it's not like they're not blurred out in the frame because you can just see the one guy to his left just keeps looking back and forth. I don't know why he's there. What's his deal? I think he's like ready to back out. He kind of just wanted to leave the whole time. There was some laughter from the stooges behind the camera, but in front of it, everyone was a little freaked out. And that's a lot of what we saw as Trump started talking about waitresses. But the next clip after it somehow got even crazier. But let's take a look at this one first.
I will never say good-looking waitress because looks don't matter anymore, you know, in our modern society. She happened to be beautiful, but I won't say that. I won't mention that. But nevertheless, a waitress came over, and I said, How are you doing? She said, not good, sir. Why? The government is killing me on tips. And she looked at me, she said, sir, there should be no tax on tips. I said, say it again. There should be no tax on tips. I said, that's the coolest thing I've ever heard. I walked outside, the press was there, as always, waiting for something bad to happen, hundreds of them. I said, ladies and gentlemen, please announce tonight there will be no tax on tips. And a legend was made. We won Nevada by so much. Republicans don't win Nevada. We won Nevada. So I want to thank that young, beautiful waitress. Thank you very much.
What is he even saying at this point? He got a couple courtesy laughs, but this is just getting weird. This was a talking point that Trump, used a lot on the campaign trail whenever he'd be telling his bit about how we're not doing tax on tips and, we're not doing tax on Social Security, which, by the way, is not coming to fruition in Donald Trump's, It's not coming to fruition in Donald Trump's budget, but he would always say, the reason I decided we're doing no tax on tips is because I saw this really good-looking waitress, which is an insane thing to say. But it only got crazier and only made the crowd more uncomfortable as they were completely silent as he rambled on about criminals and a word that he created.
What they've done to us is so sad. We're going to fully fund the final sections of border wall, impose a new remittance tax on money sent back to foreign countries, and dramatically increase deportations to a bare minimum of 1 million illegal aliens per year. And what we're doing is we're really going after the criminal aliens, of which we have plenty to work with. People say, well, that's a lot, isn't it? Well, remember, these countries are very smart. They're headed up by people I know. In almost all cases, they're very smart people. And they're people of great common sense. They're not sending their good people out. They're sending the bad people out. And they put them into caravans. I think I came up with that name, but somebody did. It's a great name, a caravan. Thousands and sometimes as many.
Does Trump not know? I know language is not really his thing, not really his strong suit. But does he not know that a caravan was already? Like, this was a word. Is this not clocking with him? I don't know. He seemed very confused, very out of it, very putting brain through the whole speech because he was constantly distracted again by thinking about women for some reason. He's talking about his budget, but he pulls someone out of the crowd to point out how good looking he thinks they are. Just take a look.
Angelina Banks from Philadelphia. Where's Angelina? Where is Angelina? Oh, you are very pretty. She went out for a second and she's coming back. Okay? Where's Ange? Come on over here, Angelina. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, wow. How are you? I won't ask you where you've been, okay? I promise. But it's great to have you. It's great to have. I mentioned your name. I said, where's Angelina? He said, she'll be right back, sir.
What is going on? He's supposed to be talking about his budget. I don't even know, I guess. He doesn't want to talk about his budget. I wasn't going to play all the clips of Trump lying, because there's just too many. And I know we're kind of tired of hearing his voice, but he said that the bill will make sure that Medicaid isn't cut. That's a lie. But they've also cut $1.7 trillion in spending, which is beyond a lie. That's something like astronomically false. He has lost it completely. And his budget shows exactly that. And it's why Elizabeth Warren was ripping into it in this clip right here.
Bill, but I want to start with Iran because it's clear that the nuclear program, there was tons of reporting today, was not obliterated, as Trump and many of his lackeys said it over and over again. There was a delay of the all members classified briefing that you and others were supposed to get.
Yes.
There was some sort of document transmitted to the Hill. That's way different from answering questions. What do you think is going on here exactly?
So I think it's very clear that the administration and the Republicans don't want to have to answer any questions that Democrats might put to them about both what has happened, for example, what does the intelligence actually show about how much damage was done and so on, but also don't want to have to answer questions about, so what is your plan? What exactly do you have in mind here? Map it out for us. They want to just be able to keep right on dancing whichever way they want to dance, say whatever they want to say, and not have anyone to hold them accountable. So they're putting off coming to Congress.
We'll see if it actually happens on Friday. We'll see. There's a ceasefire currently in place. I mean, the last one didn't last that long.
Right.
But Netanyahu's objectives are not done here, accomplished. Do you think this is over, or where's your head at on your expectations?
So look, my real concern is that Netanyahu is really the one calling the shots here.
Yeah.
This isn't Donald Trump. Netanyahu's the one who did the maneuvering. And start with the basic underlying. No one wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Not the United States.
No,
none
of course
us
not.
do. Democrat, Republican. Israel doesn't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. But you can't bomb away the desire to get one. You can't bomb away the scientific know-how. You can't bomb away the technical competence. The only way that we are going to have for keeping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon over a long arc is to negotiate. And the Trump administration, that was their big plan. That's what they were doing. And I want to give full credit, bringing the parties to the negotiating table saying, do this. But Benjamin Netanyahu has never wanted to negotiate. His plan, start to finish, is military. And he managed to maneuver things. Trump sees him on TV and sees that it looks like it's working. And the next thing we know, Donald Trump is sending bombs.
Let's talk about the bill. We were just mentioning we had so much to put in our opening. We didn't even get to Mitch McConnell and what he had to say today. We talked about Speaker Mike Johnson looking into a television camera today and saying there were no Medicaid cuts. God, is this going to be their party line?
Yeah.
Did they think people?
Yes, the party line is to lie. And here is our super secret strategy as Democrats. We're out there trying to tell the truth about what is in this bill. Because when people hear about the bill, when they understand what this bill is about, by about 2 to 1, they say that is a really terrible idea. And that's not just Democrats. That's independents, that's Republicans. People don't like this. So here is a bill that will take away health care from 16 million Americans. It will close community hospitals and community health centers all around the country. It will cause nursing homes to close when seniors who rely on that Medicaid to pay for their being able to be in those nursing homes, when that goes away. Your neighbor who relies on a wheelchair, who has a home health aide, as they make the cuts, slash the cuts, people all across this country are calling their senators and their Republican senators saying, vote against that bill. So today, at least the secondhand information is a lot of Republicans stood up at that caucus lunch and said, this is bad. This is bad. And Mitch McConnell told everybody to calm down. Yeah, people don't like this. It's terrible. They're going to lose their health care. But don't worry, they'll get over it. They'll get over it. They'll get over losing their health care. They'll get over the fact that 51,000 people will die from these cuts unnecessarily, people who would have survived. So they're just saying, don't worry. They'll get over that their grandma was pushed out of a nursing home. They'll get over the fact that their neighbor lost his wheelchair and now has to be in an institution.
This budget will be an absolute disaster and is a betrayal of every single promise Donald Trump made on the campaign trail. But who is that a shock to this? Is our expectation we just now have to be able to execute on the messaging against it to prevent it from getting passed. But of course, if Republicans are as spineless as we expect them to call it out after it does, and we're going to be doing that and reporting on this show every single day. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.